And here's another thing that a lot of people don't understand, and they get it misconstrued with the family protection dog, is the dog has to live with the family. You know what I mean? I see a lot of protection dogs, quote-unquote protection dogs, they keep it in a kennel. They keep it in a crate. The fact of it is they don't trust the dog enough around their family that they have to keep it that way. There's something wrong. If the dog can't function around the family, then it needs to either go to the police or, you know what I mean, somewhere that it's going to be a single person, you know what I mean, to be able to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And the difference is, like, a police canine, it's used as a tool, so at the end of the day, they can put the tool away, they create it. That's the end of the day. Where a family protection dog is supposed to be around the family all day, all night.
Sure.
Now, Dutches do need crate time. We do crate time. It's just like nap time. It's like, you know, having toddlers, there's times they need downtime. So they do have to have some crate time, some time alone, sometimes just do that, you know.
Not only that, you can use it to your advantage, too, because whenever a dog is sitting in a crate, it's building up energy. Especially Dutch Shepherds, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all that protein that you fed, I mean, it's just sitting there just, you know, waiting to be burned. And as soon as you open up that crate, man, they're ready to go.
Right, yeah.
You know, while the military and police keep them in crates because they know that they can work that to their advantage, that high-drive explosive that's coming right out the gate. They want to pee. You take a pee, boop, and then you go off to work, man. You know, and you brought up the best point about the protection dog, man. That's exactly what a protection dog is supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's supposed to bark and hold. It's supposed to threaten the person, threat coming up, and it's supposed to deter it. And if it doesn't, that's when the bite ensues.
Mm-hmm.
And only then does it ensue that bite.
Right.
Not if it keeps. I mean, there's times where you deploy your dog, and you know, I mean, I go a lot of that whenever the person's picking up the protection dog. Is, you know, there's time to deploy and there's time not to. You know what I mean? You're looking for a lawsuit, deploy your dog anytime you want.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to come at you in a threatening manner. They've got to be breaking in your house, meaning to harm you. There's things that you have to, and of course, each state is different. So, you know, I tell people, you get a protection dog, talk to a lawyer first.
Right.
Know your rights. No, acceptable. It's not acceptable. You know, I mean, we never train dogs to bite for the face. We never train throat, groin, none of that. And again, like you said, you know what I mean? It's a fashion show for them. Like, oh, I got a protection dog. Yeah, you're not getting a dog for me. That's all cut and dry. You're marking up the wrong tree. And that's why me and Jennifer started this breeding program that we did, is because number one, these dogs are very expensive. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want a good dog, dude, you spend $10,000.
Yeah.
At the minimum. Mm-hmm. The need for it is very great. Mm-hmm. They need. I mean, the Belgian Outlaws doing a great job. The problem is the people aren't getting the training that the Belgian Law requires. Mm-hmm. I see that that's the biggest problem in breeders is, you know, they'll sell it to anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, that's where the German Shepherds, Pit Bulls, I mean, you're giving it to people with bad intentions. You know what I mean? You're going to have, you know, recourse on that.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen. And of course, you being the breeder, you're the one that's going to get blamed. It's up to us as breeders to make sure that the standards that we produce are capable of doing the job that was required, but in a safe, healthy environment and safe, healthy way. The thing that I really want to stay from is, you know what I mean, not those kind of people, you know what I mean, because it's up to us, dude, to produce that kind of dog that people are wanting and needing. Mm-hmm. And if we don't, they're going to get it somewhere else. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, my job at the end of the day is to sell you a dog, but at the same time, I got to sleep at night. You know what I mean? I can't give a dog to someone and it, you know what I mean, lay their child's face open. I wouldn't be able to sleep, dude. You know, I mean, these dogs got training. So there's two. A lot of people think that, you know, in a year time that they're going to have a protection dog. That's farthest from the case. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're looking at 3.5 to 2 years of dedication, everyday work with the dog, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the deal. People ask me all the time, well, how long is it going to take? I tell them anywhere between a year and a half to 2 years. It depends on the dog. I'm not going to okay a dog just because you want a dog to bite somebody. I'm not going to okay a dog just because you need a protection dog. Mm-hmm. Only pass the dog is ready to pass. Not until then. it's not everybody gets a trophy anymore. It's, you know.
It's as crucial as selecting the right service dog for someone that's disabled. You know, it's the exact same importance because it's a liability if not. There are several trainers producing protection dogs or breeding and producing them, but it doesn't make them safe. We don't know where they're targeting. I don't know how they train. You know, there's a lot of factors. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of great ones out there, but there's definitely a lot of not great ones right now because that's what's giving these breeds horrible rats right now.
Russian training.
Training. The only even to the point of selling dogs for protection and making $50,000 on them, and the dog can only bite his sleeve. And when the real threat comes, they run.
Right. Yeah.
And the boy that we worked with, and he said the same thing. These people paid $10,000 on an import German Shepherd. He came and tested it out. Put a little bit of stress on it, and that dog got killed, and it was gone. There was no bite left in that dog. And I don't want to ever be responsible for that kind of dog, or a dog that, attacks somebody, that mauls the neighbor, that eats someone's grandma. I mean, who knows? I mean, dogs are animals. At the end of the day, these are still animals that we believe are tame. You know, no matter how much training we could pour into them, we can't change the DNA. They're animals.
You know, when it comes to this breeding aspect, you know, I mean, you only get one or two dogs that will meet the criteria. And that's if they pass at a year age. I've even failed my own dog, my own personal dog, being a service dog, because he was way too protective. He didn't let nobody shaking my hand. So, you know, I fail dogs all the time, and that's something that people have to understand. You know, people see police dogs. They'll see these movies like John Wick, and they're doing all these things with these dogs. But you have to understand that it takes a certain dog to be able to do that.
And 10 of them, probably.
Yeah, and in the movies, I mean, you get about 5, 6, 7 dogs that you know, we're trying to do one specific thing. And, you know, it looks good. You know, it looks cool. You know, but I have no reason to put a dog between my legs to, you know. That's just me.
What is the typical attention span that you get the maximum quality of training with the dog? Is it 20 minutes at a time?
At puppy stages, it's 20 minutes. It all depends on the dog as well, dude. Whenever we match dog and personalities, man, some dogs don't want to work that much. You know what I mean? They want to do just a bare, right?
Right.
And those are your pet dogs that are just, you know what I mean? It's okay. They're going to be able to take them out to the lake and, you know what I mean, dog diving with them and things like that. You know, where the higher-end dogs, what we're doing, you know,
you good for a lot of dividing states. There's a lot of fighting. We have to turn first.
Yes.
They're a lot more high strung, but there's just more you have to do. More.
Mm-hmm.
No. And it just boils down to personal preferences. We looked into getting into PSA and doing that. They had a club here in Kentucky. It's 3 hours away, and just really just didn't fit what our personality was and what we were wanting to do with our dogs. I love PSA. I love what they're doing at the sport and just bringing these phenomenal dogs out and working them. I love what they're doing. They're showing what a dog is capable of doing, and in a sane way. So I mean, they're adding crazy pressure to the dogs, and the dogs are maintaining. So I have off to PSA and what they're doing. It's just not for us.
Yeah, it's really hard for us to get away to it. But also, PSA fell apart here. Like, there really is in the state right now. I'm aware of it.
Yeah, politics happen there, and, you know.
Everyone stopped going. There's always politics when it comes to a sport, whether it's IPO, anything. There's going to be politics. There's going to be other breeders. There's going to be other kennels.
Other trainers.
Every trainer is right in their own head.
There's also the nurse.
And that's just the truth. That's politics. That's our world.
The need for working dogs sounds like it's more important in your area than it is, you know, a sport dog.
Well, I'll tell you, just as much time as it takes to make a patrol dog, it takes that much time and then some to make a sport dog.
No, I agree.
Yeah. You're constantly working the dog all day.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's also it is a good way to prove genetics. Like all those horses, their whole family record is champions, basically, but not three dogs are champions.
Yeah.
So sometimes, so we get clients that want the first four, and so far we're waiting to see who will title. We're hoping that one of them will. If I ever, or I would use PS today, I like it better.
Mm-hmm. Sounds frustrating.
Yeah, sounds very good. I don't know, probably one of those. But right now, tracking and all the trainings are with anxious, you know.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys use like e-collars and that sort of stuff? And what's the importance with some of the training tools?
Yeah, we're fans of the e-collar. I can get a lot more done in a shorter period of time with the e-collar. I don't believe that the public should be able to buy them. There's a lot of people that do the e-collar training all wrong. Mm-hmm. They're a good tool if used properly. You know, and again, a gun in a sane person's mind, in a sane person's hand is okay. But you give that same gun to a crazy person, you're going to have problems. Mm-hmm. So, and the same thing with the prong collars. It's a tool. With the e-collar and prong collar, all we're doing is adding pressure and taking it away. You know, in theory, that's all we're doing. And it's how much pressure the dog can withstand and or how much it doesn't like it. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, with us in e-collars and pinch collars, the only time that those get put on a dog is whenever they come out to crate and it's time to train. Mm-hmm. That's the only time. It's not to keep my dog walking at a heel. It's not to let my dog, run off, to the neighbor's house and me hit the electric stimulant when I want to come back. It has nothing to do with that. It's a training tool, and that's all it's meant for. Mm-hmm. That's kind of it strikes a kind of a personal level with us because we've had a lot of people come in, and I pulled the e-collar off, and there's a wound just sitting there. You know what I mean? And I was like, "When's the last time you took this thing off?" They're like, "Oh, he always has it on." I'm like, "Wow." What do you do to that? What can you say without offending somebody or getting a lawsuit on you? You know what I mean? It boils down to animal abuse, if you ask me. But
yeah.
So yeah, that one there is kind of touchy subject with us. We've seen some bad things come through the pipe, as a trainer.
The good things too, recall.
Oh yeah.
Excellent for emergency brake.
The e-brake, yeah.
Yeah, the e-brake, we call it. Just in case your dog's about to get ran over by a car, that's when you can shock them. Other than that, you should only be able to use if it has a tone or a vibrate. Yep. You shouldn't really have to use the other.
And honestly, it's a tool to train. It has, you can keep it on as an e-brake, just in case. And again, your training, your dog's going to rely to its training. And if you have done the proper training, the dog will recall to you no matter what.
Right.
So, with that said, like I was saying, with a 30-foot lead, I can, do the same thing, add the pressure, at a distance as I can with the e-collar. But the e-collar is faster, it's quicker, it's easier, it's more convenient. You don't get tangled up over the line. You don't get tripped. The dog don't get tripped. You don't have to constantly untangle the line. There's benefits to it. Well, that's the thing. If you put your work and your time into doing verbal commands, as long, with pressure commands, or actually adding pressure to their collar, or stimulating them, you'll have that dog that if you work that enough voice commands, he's going to do everything you tell him on voice. Mm-hmm. It's where I'll give him the command and is, out at a distance that, it's showing how cool that their dog is listening to him off leash, where people get it misconstrued. And the only time that they use it, the e-collar, is to do that. And that's where it's e-collar. Like, wait, I don't have to do it unless you hit that thing. And
they get prong smart too. Mm-hmm. I call it the get rider. Because they know when that thing's on that they mind.
Right.
It mimics the mom biting their neck. That's what it's supposed to mimic. The pressure, yeah.
That's the thing, the mother doesn't bite them, she just pulls them down and adds pressure to them.
Mm-hmm.
I see the difference in the dog. Dogs will always tell on their owner, regardless, no matter what those people are telling us, even if we're just evaluating the dog. I already know in 5 minutes what's going on. You know?
Right. What is some of the toughest breeds to train? What are and how come?
Wolf dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Wolf been the hardest dog that I've ever had to train.
And I will tell you why. Everybody loved White Fangs, all the stuff, you know.
Beautiful
Everyone
dog.
thought they should get some. A lot of them, you know, come to find out, DNA-wise, aren't. But the ones that you have low content here is other breeds bred with.
Mm-hmm.
People don't think, well, let's take it. They want colors, fluffy coat, and size. Giant in the eyes. Like, naturally, wolves don't have the weapon. So they did all these crazy breeds to make this wolf to train and understand every single breed within that dog.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You can break it, you cannot break genetics. That's all there is to it.
They will escape anything. They're not pets. They're not pets. It's a bad idea.
Which brings me up to the point, you know, most wolf dogs, they breed them with a Malamute or, you know, a Husky. And the genetics there alone, you know what I mean, all they want to do is pull something. That's
Mm-hmm.
all they want to do. They're great at doing it, you know what I mean? They are. But add that with the wolf, yeah, you got some issues, man.
Right.
Only we love. She's fine around our children. I don't have to worry about anger issues or anything like that. Food aggression, nothing like that. As far as that goes.
Her energy level can make a whole pack on edge. I have to keep her separate a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, she means well, just she has something about her energy level.
Well, coyotes. If coyotes are around our neighborhood or, you know, in our area, she goes ballistic and she sets all the other dogs off too.
Right.
We come home, we're greeted by her howling. And then a bunch of Dutches trying who are horrible at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're the hardest breeds, and I'm trying to think of any other. Oh, okay, Chihuahuas. You can never potty train a Chihuahua or what was the French Bulldog? Is that what they were?
Yeah,
French Bulldogs. That thing, for one, they sound like a human baby. That was enough to freak me out. But on top of that, they are so hard to get to stop peeing and pooping in the house.
You know, there's one thing I can say about the Dutch Shepherd, at least our lines. I mean, it's by far the easiest dogs I've ever created and potty trained. Well, and again, you know, I mean, it's reading those different traits of what your dog wants and the personality of your dog.
Mm-hmm.
The longer you're on your dog, the more things you're going to pick up on. Just like with your wife, when you very first got engaged, you know, what I mean, you started learning different traits about your wife, and then you know, year goes on, you know what's going to make her mad in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know. And again, same thing with our dogs.
Yeah.
You know, they're part of our pack structure. So whenever you redirect, just do it in a positive way where you want the dog to go to. So, you know, for instance, he comes up to bite your hand. You know what I mean? Do you have to go to the bathroom? Let's go outside. Let's take him for a walk. You know what I mean? Let's redirect in a positive way. In a stimulating way, exactly. I mean, you know, it's just like, you know, walking on the beach with your girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, before you made her your wife, you had to have some kind of conversation piece, you know?
Right.
And man, you've got to talk to them. You got to let them know what they're doing and what they're doing wrong. You know what I mean? Communication, and, you know, a lot of people don't understand that anything that you're feeling travels down that leash. Your feelings, your emotions, you know, you need to curb it at the door when it comes to training dogs.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with not doing it that day.
Right.
You're having a bad day, the dog's having a bad day.
Right.
And vice versa. Sometimes dogs are just like people. You know, some days they don't want to work.
Yeah.
Some days they've got to quit.
Also, one of the biggest issues why I'm saying that is getting them to be hyped up in the training, like getting the client to be that Mickey Mouse voice, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they need that. They need to not now. We have ours right here. He hopped up. Those are important training factors. Make it fun.
Yeah.
If they're not having fun, like Yeah, we stop clients like, okay, you are so boring.
Right.
Or like, you're not work right now. No wonder it does not want to work.
Man, you brought up an excellent point. Seriously, pay your dog. People don't pay their dogs enough, man.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Just said, man, you worked at all day, all throughout the week. You want to get paid, right?
Yeah.
So does the dog. Just because, and people say this, well, I don't want him to rely on food as always the reward. Like, all right, well, what do you want the reward to be? Like, good boy.
Right.
Okay? I can't work with that.
Yeah.
The dog work with that. Yes, there are certain dogs that, you know what I mean? Like with my dog, I'll tell him he's doing good throughout the training, and then at the end, he always gets a reward regardless.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're doing a good job. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm liking your energy. We're doing good. I'll slip him a treat, and then at the end, I'll throw him a ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Understand? Because look, I can get 5 commands out of treat reward versus 1 command with a ball.
Right. Right.
Why don't you want me to use something I can get 5 different actions out of versus 1?
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense.
Why Dutch and not Belgian?
Ooh, the question of all questions. Like we have stated earlier, my wife really reiterated is the calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Dutch Shepherds have got the most level-headed thought process that I've ever seen in a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like your Border Collie is probably the smartest dog. Next to that, I'd say that it's the Dutch Shepherd, personally.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a personal opinion.
The Dutch Shepherd is what the German Shepherd used to be.
Right.
The German Shepherd, they would protect the whole family, right? And they're trusted with kids, like nanny dogs, just like a pit bull once was a nanny dog, right?
Right.
Well, exist anymore so much, at least the ones we've trained and worked with. We don't see a lot of them really unless we're honestly.
Yes.
So
that's just bad breeding process.
But you see that still in the Dutch Shepherd. That has not changed.
Mm-hmm.
And are like that. They will protect the whole family, even if they usually belong to one specific person. Like we each have,
dog.
Well, I have like 3, 4, but yeah, we each have our dogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they'll protect everyone. And that's why that's the Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the long hair either. You don't have to go through all the craziness with German Shepherds. You endure that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grooming is so easy with these dogs.
Yeah.
Adjusting to weather. Also, they can go to the desert in Afghanistan, or they can go to Antarctica.
Right.
It will not hurt.
Right.
Yeah, they acclimate better than any other dog that I've ever been around. Belgian Malinois right there with Dutch Shepherd on acclimation, though.
Right.
For me, a mountain herd. I want to see one work.
Okay.
I have a lot of them out in Tennessee. I want to see one. I know that it's like 6. I don't know how they have purebred, but they do. I want to see one work because the capabilities that this dog can offer is fascinating to me personally. What is yours? It's a hard one, huh?
Yeah. I mean, because there's so many working dogs that, man.
Be a floppy ear or 20 years.
That's why I said the question of all questions. I haven't really had a lot of chance to work with Argentina doggos. I really would work with one, man. I had a client come down, and he decided not to move down here to this area, and I mean that was really my only opportunity to actual work with one. Yeah, and I enjoyed it because it was different. So smart dog, very smart dog. Love to get another client in that has one.
We'll learn more about them.
Mm-hmm.
One other breed.
Go
one
for
other
it.
breed I was gonna. Was a Central Asian Shepherd, and I never heard of them till last year. We had a client that owned 2 and brought them in. I have some pictures on our Facebook of them. They're giant. These dogs are like Clifford, the red dog. Like they're like twice the size of a Great Dane. I know nothing. I mean, I had a really thorough
research.
Yeah, had to find information on them. So that's a breed that's very, and she wanted, bless her heart, she wanted one of them to make a protection dog, and there's no way I'm taking a bite from that thing. You know what I mean? That's what I said. That's a total liability.